Are you a fan of the show House Hunters? Well, today's video is going to follow my clients, Olivia and Steve, as they search for their ideal home in the Pittsburgh area. You're not going to get a lot of Hollywood production and fake couple drama, but you will get informative and real-world portrait of exactly the process my clients took to buy their home. Come check it out. Hi, my name is Mark McClinchie, and I'm a real estate agent serving the greater Pittsburgh area. Please subscribe and check out the rest of my channel, Mark Knows Pittsburgh. One of the taglines I like to use for my business is helping you find your place in the Pittsburgh area. Today's video is going to be extremely beneficial for people considering a move to Pittsburgh and are overwhelmed by just the thought of figuring out how to make that abstract idea into a reality. Olivia and Steve are from the Seattle area and want to move closer to family. They want an area that offers abundant outdoor recreational opportunities as well as cultural experiences and major sporting events. They also were looking to avoid high real estate prices often found in major East Coast cities. As they did their research looking for an ideal location to relocate, Pittsburgh kept popping up.
You know, we had a few cities in mind in that region, and everything just kept coming back to Pittsburgh when we were comparing, and you know, between pricing, the culture, the just, you know, all the, you know, sports teams, things like that, just having ability to, you know, have a nice social life when we get there, it was part of the reason as well. So,
and one of the creators of several of the videos they found valuable was me. So Olivia and Steve decided to send me an email to see if I could help. A few days later, we set up an online meeting and we discussed their needs, the process of buying a home, and my responsibilities and terms if they decided they wanted to hire me as their agent. Once we had the buyer agency agreement in place, I got busy creating a collection of homes for Olivia and Steve that would match not just homes, but more importantly, neighborhoods that would match with their preferences for size, price, proximity to outdoor recreation, and several other factors. Meanwhile, I suggested Olivia and Steve set up a call with Justin Remp at Federated Mortgage. They were happy with the rates and services, so they got the ball rolling on the pre-approval process. All of this happened within the first week of Olivia and Steve first reaching out. The next few weeks were spent reviewing homes online in their collection, or what I refer to as window shopping. With each home, Olivia and Steve were able to rate as a favorite or send it to the trash. They also left questions and comments for specific properties, which would notify me, and then I would provide a prompt response. This back and forth process of reviewing properties and discussing neighborhoods, pricing, disclosure statements, nearby amenities, and more is really the key to a long distance move. It helps put everything into context, and your preferences for location and the ideal property come more into focus. Olivia and Steve planned an extended weekend trip to Pittsburgh and wanted to pack in as many home tours as possible. This requires a bit of flexibility since a home you really like 2 weeks before your trip could be gone by the time you get there. There will also be brand new homes listed just a day or two before you arrive, but since I do this all the time with out-of-town clients, it is easy to pivot and make adjustments as needed. Olivia and Steve took my suggestion of doing a virtual tour a week before they arrived because they were really intrigued by the property and were not sure it would be available in the following week. We did the virtual tour through Google Meet, and Olivia and Steve noticed almost immediately it was not the right fit for them. The house needed a ton of work, and there were potential foundation issues that were obvious. A few days before their trip to Pittsburgh, we set up another video chat just to clarify the process, answer questions, and finalize the list of properties they wanted to see. I organized their tours across 3 separate days. The first day, we scheduled 4 homes in the Coraopolis and Moon area, and the second day, we scheduled 3 homes in the Monroeville area. We left the third day open in case something new popped up or wanted to return to a specific home for a second showing. We've been planning this trip for a few weeks, so it was easy to block off about 3 hours each day well in advance to make sure nothing interfered with our schedule. Olivia and Steve had plenty of time outside of touring homes to explore restaurants, parks, and other neighborhoods around town on their own. As it turned out, they really liked one of the homes we toured on the first day, and they wanted to schedule a second showing before they returned to Seattle. We did a second tour, they loved the neighborhood, they even had a friendly chat with the neighbor. The only issue was the asking price was not only above their budget, but also more than what I believe the house was worth. We had a long discussion and Olivia and Steve decided to make an offer. After some back and forth, we were just too far apart on price and a deal was not reached. Olivia and Steve flew home to Seattle, a bit disappointed they were not able to get a home under agreement, but very excited they had narrowed their search to the Coriopolis and Moon area. So the online search continued and it was just a few days later that a new listing alert in their collection caught their attention. Olivia and Steve messaged me immediately to ask if they could set up a virtual tour, and I had the appointment set up for the very next day. The virtual tour went great. They loved everything about the house, including a better price and a better location than the house they previously offered on. After I spoke with the listing agent to gather more details, I jumped on a call with Olivia and Steve to discuss the property. They decided to make an offer and we discussed scenarios and strategies. I prepared the offer paperwork, the lender updated their documents, and the offer was submitted before the end of the day. Not surprising, the home ended up with several additional offers, and the seller asked for highest and best offers by the following day. I spoke with Olivia and Steve at length about their options and the pros and cons of every possible term that goes into an offer. We submitted an aggressive offer, but within Olivia and Steve's comfort zone. We ended up using an escalation clause that protected them from overpaying, but made it clear they likely had the strongest financial position. Most importantly, we had an inspection contingency in place. Olivia and Steve ended up with the winning offer, and it was great to call them with the good news. After sending a wire with their hand money deposit, Olivia was able to make arrangements to be in person for the inspections. This is a great combination, in my opinion, for out-of-state buyers. A virtual tour followed by an in-person visit during inspections. This gives you the flexibility to tour any home of interest, but then the reassurance of seeing the home in person during the inspection window. The inspections revealed some fairly typical and expected issues, but Olivia and Steve were excited to proceed. We had a brief hiccup with the appraisal, but we negotiated a compromise with both parties. The rest of the transaction was super smooth. The mortgage approval process was swift, and once all the title work was completed, we were ready for closing. I did a virtual walkthrough with Olivia and Steve on closing day just to make sure the property was in the same condition as it was when they made their offer. A few hours later, they signed all of their closing paperwork with a notary that came to their home in Seattle. And then, after a cross-country drive and a few more days for their moving truck to arrive, Olivia and Steve officially moved into their new Pittsburgh home. The entire process from their first email to moving in took less than 3 months. Congratulations, Olivia and Steve. If you are considering a move to the Pittsburgh area, I hope you found this video helpful and perhaps it gave you some confidence. Please send me an email just like Olivia and Steve. We will set up your initial consultation and then your Pittsburgh home buying journey can begin.